We're back with Bedtime Stories, Grownup Edition, The War Room, Part 2. When we left off, Angela Lorraine Spencer St. James, formerly Washington, was meeting with her psychiatrist, Dr. Miranda Lopez. Angela had shared the story of how she helped the COO of her hair care and skincare business, Vibrantly You, Miss Bernie Taylor, break the news to Veronica Mills that Bernie's brother, Clarence Taylor, was her father. Veronica is the on again, off again girlfriend of Donovan St. James, the brother of Angela's husband, Quincy St. James. Veronica is also the mother of Donovan's daughter, Bella, named after Donovan and Q's mother, who's affectionately called the Queen Mother. Dr. Lopez helped Angela see that she may not know what's ahead, but she knows who to trust with every step of the journey, God, because he's been guiding her along the journey the entire way. A few days have passed, and once again, Angela is pulling up outside of Dr. Lopez's office, and she doesn't even want to be there. Angela's been seeing Dr. Lopez 3 times a week for the past 2 months. Angela is grateful to have another adult to talk to, and she's had several revelations since she's been seeing Dr. Lopez. She recognizes that Dr. Lopez is not a miracle worker, she's not an oracle, and she isn't God. So she can't solve Angela's problems, she can't predict the future, and she can't give Angela the answers to the questions that she has. Angela is in desperate need of information about what's going on back at home. Angela's been in hiding for the past 3 months. Angela and the children are hiding out on the unincorporated U.S. territory of Puerto Rico because something horrible went down on the mainland in Dallas 3 months ago. Now, whatever happened, we don't know because Angela has yet to reveal it to Dr. Lopez as of yet. What we do know is that when the ish hit the fan, Angela took the children who were in the house with her, Q, and Mom Brenda and got gone. As far as she knows, no one knows where she is, and she has no idea who's okay, who's alive, and who's not. When Angela walked into Dr. Lopez's office, distress was written all over her face. Dr. Lopez asked, Todavía no duermo bien? Angela said, no, it's just getting worse. Last night, I had a horrible dream and a panic attack. Dr. Lopez said, I can prescribe you something, Angela. Why won't you let me? Angela said, because I think I might be pregnant. Dr. Lopez asked, and what makes you think that? Angela said, last night I had the same recurring nightmare. Mom Brenda, the kids, and I were in the panic room, and Q came over the intercom. He told me what to do, and as the children and I were running through the tunnel to the bunker, I heard a baby crying. When I turned back around, I could see the flames, and the baby was stuck in the flames, and I couldn't go back for it. I couldn't save the baby. And then I woke up in a cold sweat. My heart was racing, my chest was hurting, I couldn't catch my breath. I felt like I was going to pass out, like I was dying. And then I felt small arms around me. It was Melissa, and she was talking to me. And she said, Mommy, it's okay. It's okay. Just take a few deep breaths. Melissa held Angela and she told her, Mommy, I know exactly what that feels like. That's happened to me before, remember? I think you're having a panic attack. But you're safe, Mommy. I promise you are. You're safe. Pray with me, please. Let's pray. Praying always helps me. Angela cried and said, I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry that you're seeing me like this. I just don't know how I'm going to do this without your father. Melissa said, I know, Mommy, but you might have to because we need you. The baby needs you. Then Angela just burst out crying in Dr. Lopez's office. Dr. Lopez said, tell me what you're thinking, Angela. Angela said, I would like nothing more than to have Q's baby. But he would have to be here. I know all too well what it's like to do this alone, and I'm not willing to do it again. Not to mention, if I couldn't save the baby in my dream, is that a sign that I can't save this one? Dr. Lopez said, I can understand why you might interpret the dream that way, Angela. And I can understand why you might trust Melissa's gift as well. But the solution is simple. I understand you've been married for 2 years and you haven't gotten pregnant, and that you had some fertility issues in your previous marriage. And you told me all about how you conceived Angel. But there isn't any reason for you to believe that this baby won't survive. If you are in fact pregnant, you're outside of the danger window. You'd be more than 12 weeks at this point. So when do you plan to see an OB? Angela stared and said, I don't. I'm already taking a huge risk by seeing you. I don't want to take a risk by seeing another medical professional and having records. Dr. Lopez said, wait a minute, Angela. You know that your medical records are absolutely confidential. And I can connect you with a doctor who will ensure that you're listed under an alias, just like you are here. Angela said, I'm not seeing an OB. Dr. Lopez said, well, wouldn't that be counter to saving the baby? Wouldn't you see that dream as a warning? Angela said, that would be counter to my husband's promise to me. And at this point, all I have left to hold on to, the only thing I have to fuel my hope is God's promise to him and his promise to me. Dr. Lopez said, okay, well, if you change your mind, just let me know. But tell me more about this promise. Angela said, a few months into our marriage, I thought I was pregnant. I took a pregnancy test and it was negative. And I was sad. Q noticed the shift in my energy and he called it immediately. He asked me if I'd taken a pregnancy test. And when I told him that I had, he made me promise never to take another one. Q said, baby, God made us a promise. He promised us children. And I promised you that I wouldn't get preoccupied with procreation, that I wouldn't make it the center of our marriage. So that means you can't either. Angela said, but when I think that I'm pregnant, if my period is late or I feel different, Q said, don't worry about looking for signs. I'll know when you're pregnant, and I'll be the one to tell you. You focus on taking care of your body and your mind, this family, and making love to me. And I'll let you know when God lets me know. Deal? Then Q did his signature move, and Angela and Q kissed passionately. And since they had an empty house, he went ahead and made love to his wife right there in the middle of the kitchen. Angela just smiled, reminiscing on all of the times and all of the places and all of the ways that her and her husband showed their love for one another. And Dr. Lopez asked, so you're waiting for Q to tell you that you're pregnant? Angela said, as illogical as that might sound, I absolutely am. He made me a promise, and he always keeps his promises. Lopez said, okay, we do what we have to, and I understand. Now let's talk about Melissa for a moment. What did you say when she said that they need you, and so does the baby? Angela said, I said absolutely nothing. I was speechless. This isn't the first time that Melissa has displayed that she has an extraordinary gift. Dr. Lopez said, children can be very resilient in circumstances like this. You're doing the right thing by bringing her and Michael in and letting me speak with them. Both of them are a great deal wiser than their years. Research has shown that children on the autism spectrum have gifts that science can't explain. And I think it's pretty clear that Melissa is one of those children. Protect that gift, Angela. Nourish it and watch it grow. The children may very well be the key to how you all get home. Now, I hear from the oldest two, but how are all of the children doing? Angela said, well, Michael, he's 11 years old, just like Melissa, and surprisingly, he's doing rather well. He immediately hit the ground running as the head of the household in his father's absence, and he seems to have this uncanny trust that his father is going to find us, and he's going to find us soon. Now, Angel, he needs a lot of support. He's traumatized. He's only 5 years old, and this is the first major thing that's happened in his life that he can recall. And he hasn't had the benefit of ongoing therapy like Melissa and Michael because of the things that they've survived. So it's not nearly as easy to help him cope. Q is the only father he's ever known, and Mom Brenda was his constant caretaker along with me and Q. Thankfully, 2-year-old Chance is just too young to really understand. But it's clear that he misses his father, Donovan, his grandparents, the Queen Mother, Pops Andy. He misses Q. Lopez asked, "What about his mother?" Angela said, "He never knew his mother. Destiny died in childbirth." Donovan thought he was sterile. So when he found out that Veronica was pregnant, he had to go back and contact all of the women that he had been with in the recent past to find out if they were also expecting. And come to find out, Destiny was. The issue was he didn't really know Destiny. He didn't even remember sleeping with her because he was having a manic episode. He's bipolar, and at the time, he was neither in treatment or medicated. Q and LJ's private investigation firm had to go back and find all of the women that Donovan had been with. And when Destiny was identified as a potential mother of one of his children, Veronica made sure that a DNA test was done, and when the test results came back that Donovan was the father, Destiny got missing. The Queen Mother had LJ put a PI on her just to keep track of her so that she didn't go missing for real before the baby was born. And Donovan was more than happy to not have any contact with her because he was more concerned with trying to keep his relationship with Veronica on track. Veronica had forgiven him for sleeping with a bunch of women during his week of mania, as she calls it, but she was not having an easy time forgiving him for getting somebody else pregnant. Since she was pregnant herself at the time, her emotions were all over the place, and Donovan was just focused on keeping her calm and keeping their relationship going in the right direction. He really didn't want to have children out of wedlock, but having two women pregnant at the same time meant that he couldn't marry both of them. So Donovan made up his mind that he wouldn't even try to contact Destiny until after the baby was born, and he told LJ to let him know if there was any funny business, like Destiny trying to move out of town or going into labor early without telling him so that he could follow up.